Casinos, slot machines, and happy old people? All typical things you'd probably see in Vegas, but we're not in Vegas, unless you are. That's why today I've brought the whole of gambling addictions and brought it straight into Minecraft with this wonderful slot machine that I will be teaching you how to make. This setup right here is a bit big, and that does mean the commands behind it are even bigger. But don't fret, most of these commands will be about intermediate level and should just be copy and paste. I will try my best to explain to you all lovely folks about what each command is doing and the purpose of it even existing. Anyways, let me first show you how this machine works before we even get started. Alright, so here's the slot machine. I also have myself 3 stacks of gold ingots in my inventory, as we're going to use that to bet and see if we can double or quadruple our earnings. So our goal is to try to make a line here. It can be diagonal, straight, it could be a pyramid, just traditional kind of semi-looking slot lines. So I'm going to go ahead and place myself a bet of a stack of gold ingots. I'm going to go ahead and press this button, and let's see if we get a line. Oh, it looks like we're gonna get, I don't think we're getting one. Oh, we did! There we go. So on the right, we created a line, it showed it as a line there, and our bet comes out like so. So if we gotta go ahead and pick this up, you can see that it went ahead and quadrupled our bet. So now we have double the amount of gold ingots we used to have, and the bet down here has disappeared. I'm gonna go ahead and go all in this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and place all my gold ingots, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try again. We won. Let's see if we can get even more out of this. Oh, and okay, this time we lost. So all of our gold ingots are now gone. I'm broke, and it's no longer in the barrel. Okay, so I've created a new world for us, so I can go ahead and showcase how this machine like fully works from behind the scenes. So right here, I have a command block that is filling 2 redstone blocks right here, and this is going to be basically the start of our machine. Now this command right here is also over here in this command, and I just moved it over here so we can see what like the behind the scenes look like. So I'm gonna press this, and as you can see, my screen is spamming. That's going up, and you see some armor stands going that direction. That's a lot to take in. There's even more stuff going down here, so I'm gonna explain everything one by one. So first off, I'm gonna press it again, and right here we have an armor stand moving. So what this is basically doing is pushing an armor stand across the system and then randomly spawning a redstone block beneath it, so then it randomizes what item will be generated. So we have a gold ingot, rubies, axolotls, and then emeralds. So if I go ahead and press that again, you can kind of see it here. It's kind of like going into different directions, and wherever the redstone block lands is what it's going to show up as over here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and press this again. Now down here, you will also see that all this redstone block turned into white stained glass, and you can see that it all changed to redstone blocks. Now that happened due to once the armor stands get to the end of this chain, it will go ahead and trigger off these commands that will go ahead and change all of these redstone blocks, well, stained glass, into redstone blocks, activating all of these commands here to go ahead and check if we made a line. So it will go ahead and like place a command block here. This command line here would go ahead and check if there's a line going straight like this all the way up here. Alright, so that is basically what is mainly happening. Now we're just gonna need to go ahead and create all these commands. So let's go ahead and start off by setting up our little slot machine area. We're gonna go ahead and create a camera for it. So to do that, we're just gonna go ahead and use the /camera command, and we're also going to want to create ourselves a parameter for any command that's in this area. If you don't want to use a parameter like this one, you can just go ahead and use here we go, bracket r equals, and this will be a radius from this command block. So just go ahead and put like go ahead and put like 25 or 50 so it hits your player. Or you could be more exact and have a certain area. So to get this area, all we have to do is find the corner of our room. So the corner is like right here. We're gonna go ahead and open up our chat, and we're gonna grab the block position and copy it. Now, if you don't have this, all you have to do is go into your settings and go all the way down to, I believe, creator. And in here, there will be a button that you can turn on and go ahead and shows your coordinates. Now here you'll see block position, you'll also see my position. I believe it'll be started off on my position, so just go ahead and switch that to block position. Make sure you're staring at the corner block and then copy it. Alright. Next up, you're going to go ahead and, oh gosh, I can't speak. Go ahead and type in @p, and then go ahead and put a bracket, and then paste in that those chords that you just copied. Now, you want to go ahead and follow behind each chord. So the -10 is going to be x equals -10. The 133 here is going to be y equals 133. And then the 253 is going to be z equals 253. So it's basically saying that it's going to detect a player at this location, but now we need to define like the other location. So it's going to create an area. So we're going to go ahead and count until we get to like this area. So any player that's in this big area over here, inside this room, will be detected. That's a lot to take in. I'm sorry, this is pretty complicated, but if you bear with me, then you will get something really nice. So we're going to go ahead from our x coordinate, going this direction, as you can see at the top left with my chords. If you don't have chords on, you can go into your settings, into your game, and then show coordinates at your world options. So I'm just going to close that. Make sure to turn that on. And then at the top left, you'll see your chords. I'm going to go ahead and walk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10 blocks to go this direction. And as you can see, because the number went down in the negatives, defined by the minus, we're going to go ahead and go into here and type in dx, comma, dx equals -10. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and send that again. And now we're going to go ahead and count up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go ahead and count 10, just to make everything look nice. So, oh my gosh, this weather is annoying. I'm going to remove the weather real quick. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and type in dy. We're going to put after the y 133, comma, dy equals 10. Alright, now we're also going to do that one last time, but for the z coordinates. So over here, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's 10 again. So we're just going to go ahead and follow it with dz equals 10, and because we weren't going negative backwards, it's going to be positive, so there's no need for a negative sign. So just go ahead, close that off. Oh, I accidentally went back. There we go. Go ahead, close that off, and put commas to make sure all these spaces are gone, and there you go, you have your parameters. So just go ahead, send that in, copy it, and I would recommend getting a command block and placing it inside of a command block, so you can just copy it whenever. Now, if you can't copy things, this is probably going to be a painful guide, and I'd recommend not doing this, or else you're going to be spending a lot of time creating this. So, yeah, just, if you can't copy, I would not do this. Okay, next up, we're going to go ahead and get our camera command here. So we're going to go ahead, /camera, @p, and then we're going to put in our parameters. So whatever we had over here, we're going to go ahead and put into here. Now mine's different as I have it as more exact on this red line here. So you could change it however you like, but the room is perfectly fine. Then we're going to follow it with set Minecraft free position, and then we're going to grab the coordinate of the position of the camera. So we're going to go ahead and go about up, and we'll say about like right here, and then we're going to copy this block. So open up this, copy that block, go into here, and then place it into this right here, right after position. You'll want to copy it and put it there. And then what you would want to do after that is go one block closer to your machine, to your viewing, and then copy this chord and then put it into here. Now, you may need to do some fine testing and see if that's good, so just keep messing around with the chords. If you want, you can go ahead and add decimals like 0.5, 0.5 to test and see what is going to look the best for you and for your machine. Okay, so the next command here is going to be a chain conditional, always active, and it's going to be a fill command for the redstone blocks that will be going over here. So just find the area, I would say behind your machine, that is going to be the start location for all of your commands. So go ahead, find 2 blocks, it's going to be these 2, and then copy the coordinates of each. So I'm going to copy that coordinate, and then I'm going to copy this coordinate too. And I want to grab both those coordinates, and then I want to move it into here. So you may have to do that individually, so then /fill, put that coordinate, your first coordinate, then go ahead and put your second coordinate, and then redstone block. So then after this command block, it will set the redstone blocks over here. Now your next thing you want to do is go ahead and clear the command, the camera command. So when someone goes into this and presses the button, they'll be stuck on this camera. They can't move out of it. I'm right now trying to move away. I can't move, but then you see I went out of the camera. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. So /camera, and then the parameter, and then clear. So clear the camera. Now, what we're going to have to do is put a delay in ticks. Every 20 ticks is equal to 1 second. So we have this as 6 seconds, because 120 divided by 20 is 6, so that's 6 seconds. Make sure this is on chain, conditional, always active. Now you may need to change how long or how fast this is, mattering on the size of your slot machine. If you're going for a smaller slot machine that is like 3x3 and doesn't have all the sides here, and it's just a smaller version, then this time right here is going to be less. So maybe it'll be like 60 ticks. But for like mine, I found that 120 is good for a 5x5. If you're going for an even bigger slot machine, you may even need even more added to this. You're going to have to fine tune and figure out what is going to be best for you and see what works for your machine. Alright, next up we're going to go ahead and set up our betting system here and a few other things. So this command right here is going to be right under the redstone block. So I'm going to go ahead and grab something other than redstone. That's red. I'm going to grab red wool. So say our redstone blocks spawn right here. It's going to go ahead and activate this command. Now these redstone blocks won't disappear without this one right here, which is basically removing the 2 blocks above it. Now if your commands are faced differently, then just grab the coordinates like so. So just go ahead and copy this command, and instead of redstone block, you could do air. So that's one way you could do it, or you could just go ahead and count up by using tildes. So basically, tilde 1 is basically 1 block above it, and then tilde, that will represent this block right here, and then tilde 2 tilde will be 2 blocks above it. So 1, 2. So it's basically going to go ahead and clear this block and this block with air. And that's going to be on a 5-tick delay, so it gives it some time for these commands to activate. As if this was on 0 ticks delay, then the redstone will basically instantly be deleted the moment it goes here, and basically this command won't be fast enough to activate as I have it on a 1-tick delay. So the next few commands are going to be for a betting system. So for whenever we go ahead and put a item inside the barrel, it will go ahead and clone it and duplicate it into that barrel. But since we haven't created all of this yet, I'm going to go ahead and save that for later. Now, the next thing we're going to need is when the redstone gets filled here, we want this command to go off and clear the board over here. So all you have to do is go ahead and find the coordinate of the bottom point of your board. If you're going for a 5 times 5, just go ahead and get this point, or 3 times 3, get this point. Mattering on however you size, just get the bottom point and then the top point. Just get your chords. So get the block position, copy it, and then grab this one and copy it and go all the way back to your command and just paste those into here and then do air. So when this goes off, I'm going to just go ahead and place that there so it doesn't turn on that. We will go ahead and have a blank board like such. There we go. All right. The next two here are both going to be the same, and it's going to be /test4 @a_r=50. And that's also going to be in here. Now this is going to be on need redstone and a delay of ticks of 1. Now this isn't really needed, so you can go ahead and just remove these two and then make these the two commands that are next. I recommend putting these here though, because sometimes your server may lag, and what you can do is go into the delay and ticks and change this number to like 2, 3, and mess around with this and see if it can like sync up with your server lag, if your server is a little laggy. Now, just mess around with it until like the board is like clean, because sometimes the item frames will continue and then it will just skip one. So like go and then skips one, it will go and then skip one, and that's due to server lag typically. So just mess around with it until it doesn't do that. Alright, next up is we're going to work with the top section here, and what this is basically doing is going ahead and placing redstone blocks in this whole entire section here. So boom, 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 and all right there. And it won't place one right here because we're only going to be replacing for air. So what you want to do is do /fill and then either get the coordinates of the furthest line. So before you do all this, you want to make sure you put lines in, and this is going to correspond for each item you have. So I have gold, rubies, that's from a mod pack, axolotls, and emeralds. So if you have 2 lines, just only go ahead and do 2. So get this cord and then this cord. If you have like 3, just go ahead and get 3 lines. So 1, 2, 3. Don't worry about this. You don't even need this. Make it as many lines if you need. If you have 5 lines, go ahead, add another line, and go ahead and just yeah, create another one. That's totally up to you. How many you want to add is going to make more and more harder to get a line. So I would recommend sticking to a low number like 4, 2, 3, something small and appealing so it looks nice on the machine. Alright, so go ahead, grab the chords, and then type it into here on /fill, then your chords, your left chord, then your right chord, redstone block, replace air. Alright. Next up is going to go ahead and activate all these commands here. So since this red wool will go ahead and be placed here, it's going to go ahead and activate this command, this command, this command, this command, this command, which will also activate the commands above it. So we're going to go ahead and work on these commands now. So the first commands that we're going to look at is these, the ones in each line. Not the middle ones, but the ones in each line. This is going to be summoning a armor stand down here. So if I go into this, it'll be /summon armor stand, then ~, negative 4.5. Now that is because we're going down 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And because the armor stands are a little bit weird, you want to add 0.5, so then it will be basically standing on this block. Now, we're going to need to go ahead and also add this mob event, become _com_event. This is doing nothing on the armor stand. Make sure you add 2 tildes before that too. But what we need to add that for is so we can name it. So after that, we can add a space and then casino slot A. Now, if you want multiple slot machines, you're going to have to name your armor stands. And this is also good for when we're going to detect things, so it doesn't go for a random armor stand that say like over here or something. We don't want it to be like go into this armor stand when we want it to focus on the armor stands that are going to be going here and then moving across this line. So go ahead and type in casino slot A. You could name it something different. You could go ahead and just name it A, or machine A, or machine, this, whatever, something special. Go ahead and name it that. We're going to be using that name a lot, so if you want to keep it short, because you're going to be putting it into all these other commands too. So go ahead, copy this command, and place it all the way down the line like so, and then do the same for each one of your other lines. Now remember, each time you go up a block, you're going to need to lower it by 1. So you see here it was 5.5, this is 4.5, and then this one is 5.5. If I go to this one, it's going to be 6.5, and then 7.5. Now you may also see that I have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and 4 here. Now the reason is, it's going to be on what is going to be your most common. So the more armor stands we add, I'm going to grab myself an armor stand. More armor stands we add, the more likely it's going to go ahead and spawn on this block. So say I had 4 armor stands here, it will go ahead and detect a random armor stand. So I'm going to place 1 here, for example. So that it's more likely to spawn a redstone block over here because there's 4 armor stands versus the 1 over here because there's only 1 armor stand. So this is going to be our jackpot item. So the low number, so 1 over here, is going to be our emerald. This is our jackpot item, versus this is going to be our low item. So this is going to go ahead and double or triple our bet when we go ahead and put our bet in, versus this is going to go ahead and times our bet by 15. So go ahead, make how many you want. You can change the chances by increasing the amount of commands or lowering it. So if you want to go ahead and make this 5 to make it even more common and make the rest less common, just go ahead, add another one, and make it 8.5, and then make sure you follow it all the way down this line. I'm going to remove that as I don't need it. Alright, next up we're going to work with this command right here. Now what this command is basically doing is going ahead and replacing the, let's see here, what is this? Oh my gosh. Okay, it's going to be basically removing this redstone here. So the moment the redstone spawns here, it's going to be gone. So it doesn't stick there and stay, so the machine can be used again. So go ahead and either go ahead and just grab this command if you have the exact chords and just put it in here and replace the air and redstone block to switch it around. Or if you're using tildes, go ahead and just grab the coordinates of your furthest and then your furthest over here and then bring that all the way down. Alright, next up is going to go ahead and we're going to make it so the armor stand gets killed. So every time the armor stand gets put over here and moves forward, we want the last one to be killed. As teleporting it, in my opinion, it has become a little iffy and a little bit broken and doesn't really work fully. So I'd recommend just killing it and then having it summon each time as a new one. So what we're going to do is kill at E, and then we're going to grab the parameters. So as I've shown you before, we want to go ahead and find the parameters by just going ahead and placing a block down, going ahead and typing in the block position and copying it, and then you can go ahead and put the parameters in there. Now what else you could do, or something different, is you can go ahead and use tildes like I did here. So this will be 3 blocks to my X coordinates. So 1, 2, 3 positive, and we also have a dx of -6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can go ahead and add tildes like so. So tildes, then how many count from that tilde, and then I have another tilde here, and then how many from that tilde. I recommend going ahead and making your Z about -1, so go ahead and put your thing 1 behind. So your armor stand may be here, but I recommend going ahead and detecting for right here, as the server can be a little bit goofy. You can go ahead and make it this block, but I recommend just following this as it may have some problems. And if you do notice some problems, it's probably to do with the tick delay and everything. So mess around with it until it works for you. Just go ahead and change the kills, mess around with that. The tick delay, we want it for here to be 5 for the fill, to give it time. So just like this one over here, how I have it as 5 ticks, you want to make this one as 5 ticks too. I didn't mention that before, but just make sure that it goes off, and then this is going to be chain conditional always active. And then our final command here is going to go ahead and replace the redstone that spawns down here. So when the random redstone gets placed here, we want to go ahead and make sure that it also gets cleared. I believe that is what this is doing. Yes, it is. So that's what that's going to do. So go ahead and either grab the chords by going ahead and grabbing the block position, and then going to this side and getting the and then counting, because we're going to be grabbing getting the block position there too, and then going ahead and going up here and typing it into your chords. Now, if you're not doing that and you're getting tildes, then go ahead and place in your tildes. But if you're going to put in chords, then go ahead, delete in this, and then put in your chords. So, just like so. Alright, next up, we're going to go ahead and finish pulling this down, all the way down. Make sure this is on a 4-tick delay, so it will sync up with everything and give everything time, as if this was going too fast, then the machine and lag, because Minecraft is iffy, will probably not work. Now, your server may be different, so fine-tune it like always for most of this stuff. Alright, Now the bottom one here, I have a play sound note.pling AR at A R equals 50. This is what makes the little pling sound whenever I go ahead and press this button. So you'll hear that sound at the beginning that makes that ding. And then every time the items appear, they also make a sound. So that sound is going to be different from this. But this sound just to also deal with lag and to make everything sync up. Just fine tune the delay and ticks until it works for your server. So just make it on chain, conditional, always active, play sound, note.pling, and at a r equals 50, or you can use the parameters of this room if you'd like to do that instead. Alright, next up, we're going to go ahead and make it so that the armor stand, when it spawns, it will go ahead and find a random armor stand and decide which armor stand will place the redstone block. So if it will place on that one, or if it will place on that one. So here we have on this command, /execute at r bracket name equals casino slot A. This is going to be the same as what you named your armor stand over here in the /summon. So casino slot A, we're going to go ahead and name it over here the same thing. And then comma, type equals armor stand. Make sure you have a underscore there, bracket, run set block tilde tilde -2 tilde redstone block. So at R is going to be our targeter, as we're going to be searching for a random armor stand that is named casino slot A, and we're running the command /set block 2 blocks beneath them, placing a redstone block. So we're going to have that on a delay of ticks of 4 on chain conditional always active, and we're going to bring that all the way out to 1 block after your point. So if you have 25 blocks, because I have 5, make sure you bring it all the way out to the 26th block. So 1 block forward. So it should end off the same. Looks the exact same command. All right, next up over here, you may see that this command goes out a bit further. This is going to be because we are going to have a different command here, which is going to go ahead and switch out all of these redstone blocks with stained glass. Now, the reason I don't have it as 1 block that goes ahead and switches out all this, these stained glass, as when we press this command, what's going to happen is this is going to turn into white stained glass. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. You see how it turns into white stained glass. All right. And once that finished, you'll see that the redstone blocks, it went that one, that one, that one, that one. The reason I don't have it all go off at the same time is because we want to make sure the delay and ticks are going to be all different. So as you can see here, this is a delay and ticks of 2, and this is a delay and ticks of 2. That is the exact same delay and ticks. But if we have this one go first and this one activates first, then this one's going to run off differently than this one. So meaning, if we got a redstone line that is ruby over here, or gold, it will go ahead and make sure to run that command first, and then it will go ahead and keep running the next ones. It's just to make sure everything runs properly, and then if you get multiple lines, you will also go ahead and get rewards. So if I go ahead and go into here, I'm going to go ahead and set the command /camera clear to remove the camera the moment I go into this. So, for example, it's a little confusing. If I go ahead and force myself to win 2 lines, I won actually 3 lines there. It will go ahead and win separately, and it will take time before the rewards pay out. That's because of the delay and ticks here. So as you can see, this one's 4, this one's 6, this one's 8, and that's going to be all due with timing. So everything makes sure it pays you out and it doesn't scam you. Because if they were all running at the same time, then you would only get payout of 1 instead of being paid out of how I had it of 3 times here. All right, so we're going to go back here. And to do this, you want to go ahead and grab the coordinates of your redstone blocks. So for example, go here, grab your coordinate, copy, and then go ahead and move back, and then grab your next coordinate, which would be about over here. So grab this one, boom, copy that one, and then you want to go ahead and put it into here, like so. And then redstone block, replace, and then stained glass. Now, you don't have to have it as stained glass. You can go ahead and have this as a completely different block. So if you wanted it to be red wool, you can go ahead and make it red wool. I just like white stained glass as it kind of looks cool with command blocks, so you can go ahead and follow me, be a copycat. Now go ahead and do that for all the other ones. Make sure it's always active and on conditional, so like so. Conditional, always active, delay of ticks 4. And then make sure you do that for this one, and this one, mattering on how many different lines you have. So if you have 3, then go ahead and do it 3 times. If you have 4, then do have 4. Now, you may be saying, I don't really have this set up here, like, made. What is this I'm even looking for? Well, what this is right here is basically a 1-to-1 recreation of your slot machine. So if you have a 5x5 slot machine, go ahead and recreate it. I should have probably mentioned this earlier. And make sure you just recreate it. So 5x5, I would have it like so. Boom, boom, boom. And then I would fill this up with item frames. And then I would fill it up with my first item. My lowest item being gold. Now if I had a 3x3, I would go ahead and make this 3 blocks. Like so. Completely matters on how many you have. So go ahead, create the system. And then what else next up thing you want to go ahead and do is go ahead and find where you want to put your redstone blocks. So I'm going to put my redstone blocks like right here, following the outside around it. Alright, so this is going to be what you're going to copy and put over there if you haven't made this, which you most definitely haven't because I kind of skipped over it, but we're going to go over it now. Alright, so the next thing you want to go ahead and do is make sure your command blocks are going to hit. So when these redstone blocks come out and they spawn once they hit the end there, we want to make sure that these command blocks, these impulse commands that we're going to be placing, are going to be hit by this command here. So we're going to place a command block facing each direction, mattering what line. So we have 3 going down. This is going to be our vertical line. So if we want to pay out going this direction, so say like that, then this command will be doing it. But say we want a line going this direction, a line going this way, then this command right here would be the payout winner. So this is going to be for what pays us out with our bet. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. So for your first command here, it's going to be /test for blocks and then tilde, and what this is just grabbing the tilde, the coordinates of this block. So I'm going to grab this block and then place it into here. And then for the first 3, so this tilde, this tilde, this tilde, so I would go ahead and replace it with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this block. So this one right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it into here. Like so. I'm going to remove these 3 tildes and put it in there. Now I'm left with these 3 tildes right here, these 3 chords, /1 chord. And that's going to be basically the exact same. So this is the top line, but up here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And because the command block is starting over here, we want to make sure it's at the start. And it's typically going to be from the start. It's a little iffy. What I would recommend doing if you can't get the right chords, because sometimes when you put this in, you'll have this activate and it'll say an error. I would recommend going ahead and getting your top chord. I'm going to use this one. Putting it in here. Let me do that real quick. Boom. And then running this command. So going ahead and grabbing your gold ingots, placing like that. Make sure you have a full line just like that up there. And having this on previous output, and then placing a redstone block. Now, what you want to do is look into here, and as you can see, it did not say anything, which is surprising. It's interesting. That's probably due to it not working. But let me see also. If I go ahead and type this in. Alright, if you type it in, I don't know what was going on there. It should have give me a previous output. It's probably because I copied this in from a different world that these command blocks are a little glitchy. But what you could do, if you don't have your chat spam turned off yet, you can go ahead and type this in. And at the top right, top left, you'll see 5 blocks compared. If you get that, or 3 blocks compared, mattering on how many is in the line, if you get that, that means it's working. So just continue, use that, go ahead, type that in, put that in here, and then you're all good. And make sure this is on impulse, unconditional, needs redstone, and then a delay of ticks of 2. Now you want to go ahead and do the same for this row. So go ahead and copy this block, and then go up here, and then copy these 2 blocks. I mean, copy this block and see if it works. If it doesn't work and it gives you an error, then make sure to try a different coordinate, like try doing the other side and seeing if that works. All right. Go ahead and make sure you add 2 more ticks to each one, as we want to separate them. Now for the verticals, it's going to be exact same, but this time you're going to go ahead and copy this block, this bottom one, and then the top block. So then this one, and then going ahead and putting it into its respective. So these 3 would be the bottom one, this one, and then the next 3 after that, which would be this one, this one, this one, would be the top one. And then we would do the last 3 would be this chord, I believe, or this one. You don't have to test with that. Make sure it works, and then paste that into that command. And then for each one that you add to this, make sure you add 2 more ticks. So we went from 2 ticks to the final one, which should be about 20 ticks. All right. Next up, what we want to follow each command is going to be this command here, and it's going to play a sound. So we're going to put this on chain, conditional always active, and we're going to go ahead and type in /execute at p, and then the area, this area. So your parameter. So go ahead and get your parameters, and then go ahead and paste that into here. Now you could go ahead and do @a. That will not change really much, but you could go ahead and just do @p. It will still play to all players. Or you could go ahead and do @a and then @s here, and it'll also play to all players. It'll be the difference will be a difference in a little bit of sound. You can mess around with it. The sound will sound slightly different. So just mess around with it if you want. Run play sound random.levelup @a. You could change the play sound with any command sound that you want. In my play sound video, I have a whole entire list of all sounds if you want to check that out. And then go ahead and type in the location if you want. This is optional. You can go ahead and type in the location of it being right next to the machine. So then all players will hear a sound coming straight from the machine, so straight from here, instead of it being directly on them. So it sounds like it's coming from the machine and not coming from the abyss. It's totally optional. It's just, to make your machine sound cooler. All right, next command here is going to be basically what is going to add a light behind your thing. So I have a modded shroom light here. So you can go ahead and use whatever you like for a different light. You could go ahead and use frog light if you wanted to. Just choose a block that is different than the light that you have behind your stuff here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into here and type in the chords of the behind block. So grab this block, copy, grab this block, copy, and then go into this block, and then type in those 2 chords, or paste them into here, and then type in the block that you want. So if you want to do frog light, go ahead and delete the SP shroom light here and type in frog light, like so. All right. The final command here is going to be /set block, and then -10 redstone block. Now, what this is doing, is going ahead and setting a redstone block right here. Now, I use tildes, so what you could do is going ahead and driving the location of this block right here. Now, I haven't really explained this yet either, so let me get to it. Just go ahead and set up a barrel facing down, or facing however direction your bet is looking. So this is going to be your betting. So mine is facing down. So go ahead, set up a barrel over here. I am skipping through this. I'm so sorry if I'm making this complicated. But set a barrel down, and then you're going to follow it with a few commands. So we're going to have a little gap here, and in this gap is what we're going to copy for the block that we're going to be putting over here. So go ahead, copy that, and going ahead and paste that at this chord, or you could use tildes. I used tildes a lot back when I first made this a few years ago. So go ahead, put that in there, and that's just going to go ahead and place a redstone block here to activate this command, which is basically going to give us our bet money. All right, now we're going to want to set up our barrel and our bet money. So to do that, we're going to need to come back to these commands right here. And what this is basically doing, I don't know if I covered this one. Let me see here. What is this one? Stained glass replace redstone block. Okay, so what this one is doing is basically replacing all of these redstone blocks with the stained glass. I don't know if I covered this earlier, but we will. So go ahead, find the, once you set up your area for all of these redstone blocks, make sure you have like all these sections out. Or if you don't, then go ahead and just estimate how far it's going to be. And copy the corner block of this one. So copy this coordinate, and then going to the exact opposite location, and then copying this coordinate. And then you want to move those two coordinates into this command block here. So there and there. And what that's going to go ahead and do, this is going to be on chain, unconditional, always active, is, like I said before, switch the redstone blocks with stained white glass. As we see when we go ahead and press this, it turns into white stained glass. And then when it finishes, like before, it goes ahead and puts the redstone blocks. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. The next thing we're going to be doing is cloning our barrel. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to grab the coordinate of our bet barrel. So whatever you're going to be using for bets, go ahead, clone that. So I'm going to clone that block. And then we're going to go into here, and then we're going to type in or paste in that coordinate twice. So basically, I would paste it twice, boom, and then boom. And then you see I have it 2 times. And then we're going to be typing in the coordinate of where our new barrel is going to go for the payout. So for this payout, we're going to go ahead and place the barrel here. So we're going to have this coordinate right here, and then we're going to paste it into here. Now, we're going to need to go ahead and do this command a few more times for each time we have a different row. So for rubies, I have to have another barrel. For axolotls, I have to have another barrel. And for emeralds, I have to have another barrel. And for each one of those, I'm going to have to go ahead and do a separate different clone. So go ahead, type in all those, copy those commands, and have one for each and every single barrel. All right. The final one here is going to set a new barrel back over here. Now, if you don't want to set block a barrel, you can go ahead and copy a blank barrel. So if I go ahead and grab a barrel, you can go ahead and clone a barrel to this location. But if you want to do the easy way, like I did, as it works better for me, you could just go ahead, do /set block, put the coordinate of where a barrel block is, and then type in barrel or whatever storage item you're using for your bets. That's going to be chain, unconditional, always active. All right. So now we got when we put our item in, the item is going to go ahead, get cloned over here into this barrel. And if the machine detects a payout by getting a row of 5 with these commands over here, it will go ahead, send a command. This is a conditional redstone block. Oh, yes. Also, sorry. This one's a really major one too, as this will deal with a lot more timing. Each time you go ahead and add this one here, make sure to add a delay of ticks of 5. That's what I found out is to be a pretty good number. So 15... and then 25, if I go over here, it's 50. So make sure for each one of these last ones on chain conditional, always active, you make sure to add 5 and then add on to that 5 for each one of these. I'm so sorry. I get really sporadic when I start recording past like 15-minute mark. All right. Anyways, once you do that, I mean, let me explain what that was doing. Basically, that's going to make sure that each time the command, the redstone block gets sent over here, it gives it time if we have another payout. So say we got 2 rows, it gives it time for it to pay us out before it places another redstone block. So we get 2 payouts instead of it only giving us 1 redstone block and then we get nothing. All right. So next up, we're going to go ahead and place a repeat command block right next to our barrel that's going to be activated by this redstone block. So make sure you place it any direction that is not below, or if you're going to set these next commands in a different direction, just go ahead, place the repeat anywhere around this redstone block. Redstone block that will spawn here. And type in this command of /set block and then ~1 air. Or if you're not using tildes, go ahead, grab the block coordinate and then type in the coordinate here. Now, like before, with the other ones of it removing the redstone, that's going to do the exact same by removing the redstone. Make sure it's on a delay of ticks of 1, or you can go ahead and make it a little bit higher, like 2. I wouldn't go any higher than that. but that will go ahead and make sure that it will delete it, and then another redstone block will be able to be placed here. I'm sorry for my sporadic speaking again. Alright, next up, we're going to go ahead and clone this barrel up here. So basically, we're cloning this barrel, so we're going to grab this coordinates, type it into here twice, and then we're going to go ahead and clone it to our payout. So my payout is about right here. So if I go ahead and you can see, every time I place a block here, it breaks. Now I'll show you why it's doing that in a moment, but find where you want to put your payout. And I recommend having like a few different locations for payout. So I have 1, 2, 3 different locations for my payout. I also have a few more for my even bigger payouts. I recommend having more locations, as you want to make sure it pays you out like fully and it doesn't glitch and you get scammed. So have multiple locations. And go ahead and type in the coordinates of where your payout is. So for this one, I'm going to put that one coordinate, and then I have a second payout location. So I'm going to do the exact same command, but I'm going to put the second payout location cord. And then I'm going to do the third payout location cord. And then I'm going to do back to the first one. Now, what you want to also do is go ahead and put a delay of ticks of like 1 to 2 into each one of these, so it makes sure it pays you out. Sorry, I'm choking. So go ahead, put on chain conditional always active for each one of these, and it will pay you out. So this is going to be how many times it's going to pay you out as well. Because I have 4 of these, it's going to quadruple my pay. If I wanted to double my pay, then I would only want 2 of these. If I wanted to triple, 3. If I wanted to 5 times my pay, then I would have 5. Simple, if you understand that. So the more you add, then the more you get paid. As you can see here, it goes down and goes down and goes down for the even bigger ones. All right. Now, the last thing we're going to be doing, which is going to be I believe the final thing. Actually, no. We have one more thing here, which is going to be what plays the sound and what actually clones the item over here. Oh my gosh, I actually forgot to do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up this thing before we set up our final thing here, which is going to be a bonus if you want to add it. So what's going to happen here is when we have a redstone block that gets placed here, it's going to activate this command here, which is going to be the parameter of the area, and then it's going to play a sound into this room. So grab the parameters, go ahead, place it in here, /execute at P, the parameters, run, play sound, and then whatever sound that you would like to use, and then at A. This is going to be similar to the one over here, this play sound. So just go ahead, make it similar and exact to that one. Or different. You can make the sounds all different for each one. So for my different items, I have different sounds. So it makes a little jingle noise when people go through the machine, instead of a static one sound that goes ahead and plays multiple times as the redstone block goes through here. All right. Now the command that you want to follow it with is /clone. And then we're going to grab the coordinate of this item frame right here with a gold ingot. So place an item frame with a gold ingot. You're going to use this as a base for all of your other commands. And you're going to go ahead, copy that. And then you're going to go ahead and... Oh, let me go ahead and like, shall we? Go ahead and copy that. Put that chord in twice, like so. So there you go. You can see 2 copies. Boom, boom. And then we're going to grab the coordinate of the bottom left area. So I'm going to grab that coordinate. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste that. All right. Each time you do that, you're going to go ahead and do that again. So one more time. But then this time, we're going to want to copy the coordinate of this one. Now, since it's only 1 block up, I'm smart enough to know the simple trick of adding 1 to this. So, because it was 1 block up, I would go to 36. And 1 block above 36 would be 37. Now, because my machine's 5 up, it will only go up 5 times, and then I would have to grab a new cord, and then go up again by 1 and 1 and 1. You're gonna have to do that for every single one of these. It's gonna be a tedious process, so yeah, that's gonna be a time consumer. I would recommend listening to some music while you're doing that, and you're also gonna have to do that for every single one of these. So even the rubies, your axolotls, your emeralds, whatever items you have. All right, so that's going to go ahead and place your items into here. I don't know how I skipped through that. I'm just going fast, and this video is already getting really long, and I don't want to spend too much on it. All right. The final thing here is you may see that we have a command detecting it going horizontal and it going vertical. But if I go ahead and like activate this machine, let me make sure I have the camera clear on. Boom. And I go ahead and try to go for like a diagonal. I'm gonna scan my machine. There you go. I got a diagonal. And you may see I also got some other lines that aren't exactly horizontal or vertical. Now, if you want to add other lines, such as if I go ahead and clear this machine by going ahead and just, let's go ahead and do this manually. Let's do this real quick. There we go. And we'll grab and do that. If you want to go ahead and make lines that look like a pyramid, or make a line that looks like a check mark like this, or make other lines that are just diagonal, or make an X, or make a full screen line, what you're going to have to do is get every single one of these blocks and test for it individually. So basically, instead of us testing for the whole entire line by here, we test for this coordinate and then test for this coordinate, we're going to only be testing for individual coordinate. So over here, I have more commands going this way. So as you can see here, test for blocks, this coordinate, and then it's going to go ahead and test if that exists at this coordinate right here. And then if I want to go ahead and go up to the diagonal point of going to this one right here, I would have to test for that coordinate there. So I would have to get this coordinate, copy it, and then type that, paste it twice, and then go up here, and then copy this one, and then paste it into that same command. So if you want to add different lines, you're going to have to get every single little item tested for individually. Now, just go ahead and make sure that's all on conditional, and you want to go ahead, add the normal play sound, and then go ahead and add a set block redstone down by 1, and set block air. Make sure that's on needs redstone and a delay of ticks of 5, and this is on chain conditional always active. Then you want to go ahead and do your set block of changing the lights. So because we can't do a straight line, we also have to go ahead and go to each one of our light blocks and get the coordinates of this block, and then go over here and type in that chord. So that would be my chord. I would go ahead and type in my light, and then each time I have a different little location, I would go ahead and grab the coordinate of that light block and then place it into there. All right, and then you finish it off with the setting the block into the barrel right here. So boop, and then there you go. All right. So that should be everything for your casino slot machines here. Actually, wait. Oh my gosh. Final thing. All right. This is for your bets right here. I'm sorry. This video is going to be all out of the place. That's been my last few videos. I'm going to retire from tutorials really soon and focus on making entertainment content. So, I'm sorry. I just can't keep up with this stuff anymore. It's really hard. We're going to want to go ahead and grab the coordinates of our payout. So your payout right now is probably not clearing and not breaking blocks like it is for me. So grab the coordinate of your payout, go into these command blocks and type in /setBlock, the coordinate of your payout, air, destroy. Make sure you add this destroy, as if you do just air, basically what's going to happen is if we have a barrel and it gets spawned there and it's full of emeralds and it gets destroyed, those emeralds won't spawn. It will be completely gone. So we want it as destroy, so it seems like the block's being destroyed, so then all the emeralds that were in that barrel would be coming out of that barrel. So go ahead and do that a few more times for each one of your payouts, and then the final thing you want to do is go ahead and kill the barrel. So grab the parameters of your area, so, I don't know why I want to pick that up. Grab the parameters, go into here, make sure it's on @E instead of @P, because we're going to be looking for entities. And we're going to type in, add this to it, comma, type equal item, and then comma, name equals barrel. So once you go ahead and do that, what that's going to do is the barrel, every time we place it, instead of it placing, dropping an item on the ground, it won't drop an item on the ground. So players won't pick up the barrel every time that they win something. Alright, final thing that we're going to do to finish off this casino slot machine nonsense and pain that I've gone through for making this video. Hopefully I haven't skipped any parts in this. I don't believe I did. Is that you may see that when I go ahead and press this, our chat gets spammed. Now, basically, most tutorials I would say to remove the chat spam at the beginning, but I would say the chat spam is really minimal for this, and it can be really helpful for making this tutorial, so that's why I decided to leave it. To remove it, all you have to do is go into, I don't know why I have caps lock on, go ahead and type in /game rule, command block output, false, and then go ahead, type in the same thing, /game rule, send command block feedback, false. And now, if I go ahead and press this, you may see that that is completely gone. Alright. That will be the end of this slot machine video. I am sorry for it being really sporadic and goofy. I really want to switch off of tutorials and focus on making entertainment videos where I can make an actual script and use an actual voiceover, as me constantly yapping for 42 minutes straight of a uncut footage video is really painful, and editing for a tutorial video is not the most fun. You can't really do much. You can add background music, and I don't really add background music, and you can add a few cool effects, but you can't add anything fun or enjoyable, and it's not really content I like to make. I will still try to provide some tutorial videos and content, and I will still answer and help y'all if you comment down below, but I will be making probably less of this content and be more focusing to entertainment content. If you did enjoy this tutorial and you found it really helpful, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. See ya!